Welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams on ACTN. My name is Steve David, and I'm your host. Today, my guest is my panel guest who is going to discuss. We're going to try to do a dream team, guys. Before let me introduce you guys before we lay the ground rules of this whole dream team setup. To my left is Alvin Henderson. Alvin, welcome to the set.
Thanks a lot for being here, Steve. And we would notice we're in the same outfit, so we tape in 2 shows at the same time.
Thanks for clearing that up. I've got Anthony Roger next to Alvin.
Absolute pleasure for being here.
Welcome. Anthony Clark. Welcome to the set.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And we got my co-host, Narada Wilson.
Always a pleasure to be here, Steve.
Okay. We want to talk about a dream team. So let's set the rules, right? Barbershop discussion. So the fish broth is on the fire. We're going to have fish broth. We're going to sit down. We're hanging out, guys. We're hanging out. We're linemen, right? So let's pick a dream team, national dream team. We're going to set the ground rules as no later than 1964. That's when we had our first World Cup squad, right? So 1964 to the present.
Okay.
They must have done something for the country, not just a club player that you're talking about to make the dream team. You must say why. I know we are from different eras, so just talk about the people you know. And we selected. Viewers, you part of this too as well. You can get your pens and your pencils out, and you can pick your team, and you can submit it to our Facebook page. Field of Dreams Facebook page, or you can go to our email address, fieldofdreamstt@gmail.com. On our Facebook page, obviously, just go to Facebook, Field of Dreams Football, and you can get us. And be part of this process and submit, and at the end of the week or next week, we can see if we selected the right dream team or the viewers selected the right dream team. You guys follow? You got it?
Fair enough.
I have one question.
Yes.
Why are you and Anthony Roger in the barbershop? You guys don't need to be here. I have no hair.
I know, but you still need to do a little barbering. You still need to shine it down.
Okay.
Also, there's different eras of different formations, right? So, well, my dream team is going to be based on the 4-3-3. So you guys can take that, or you can select a different one. What do you guys think? We should go 4-3-3, give 3 forwards, 3 midfielders, 4 defenders, and a goalkeeper? What do you think? Or should we go 4-4-2? Or should we go 1-6-9 or whatever?
In my opinion, I would probably go 4-4-2.
I think
I would choose 4-4-2. I love that.
So we're taking out the wingers, though, when you do that?
No,
we're
in
not.
a 4-4-2 system.
We had a lot of good wingers
Yes,
back in the day.
but in the 4, they're playing wide. In the middle 4, they're playing 2 wide men. So
a left wing and a right wing.
I don't think we're taking them out at all.
You're cheating the forwards and you're giving midfielders, though, a spot. Yes?
In a way.
I wonder if certain people are just scared about if they might make the list or not. You know, I find Steve pushing for his type of players, his attacking players.
No. If it's one
not the 4-4-2 could work.
No, what I'm saying, people can pick a team. Yeah. You can pick a team based on your 4-3-3 system and 3 forwards. I will pick a team based on my system.
Okay.
Is it based upon what we think is the best Trinidad and Tobago team that could face any opposition in the world? Is that literally what we're
picking a team at position that you think this guy should be in this position for our dream team? This is our best team that we ever had.
Right.
And so on. It doesn't have to face anybody, just this is our dream team.
Okay.
So we could start with the goalkeeper first, Clarky.
So. Okay.
And,
well, I would start right in the back, right?
so we're picking goalkeeper first.
I'm picking my goalkeepers.
But give everybody a chance to pick a goalkeeper.
Of course.
All right. And
we just picking 1 or 2?
1. We're picking 11 guys.
But we could talk about the others.
We can talk about the others, yeah.
Who make, so give them a little...
exactly.
Right, okay.
I would go with my one goalkeeper as Lincoln Phillips.
I'm keeping score. Lincoln Phillips. Okay, go ahead.
Do I go ahead or everybody else is?
No, tell us why you think Lincoln.
I think in terms of stature, ability, knowledge of the game, and I think Lincoln was out there. Very close second for me will be Michael Maurice. You know, I can interchange them, but you only gave me one choice.
Right.
And for the same reasons: stature, ability, technique, and so on.
Yeah, I think for me, well, unfortunately, I just heard about the names that you called, but I wasn't able to see them. I think I would have to go with Shaka Hislop. I think, one, because maybe more the modern day, you know, we were sort of more influenced to trying to balance the education and the football, and he was somebody that was successful at doing it. And then the fact that when we started to watch Premiership football, where we had more access to it, it was kind of a moment that Trinidadians were proud to see a guy at that level of football. You know, starting, and I think every young goalkeeper in Trinidad and Tobago at my era was trying to aspire to be him. So I think he was a national icon for that reason.
You don't have it? That's it?
Yeah, I think that's it for me.
Okay.
There's some good arguments here. Really likes Clayton Ince, who I thought was...
Clayton Ince?
Clayton Ince was exceptional in his ability and stature. And one of the guys who actually, from a local perspective, went abroad and proved himself. Not that a player who went abroad got selected from being abroad. I think similar to Shaka, for example.
You think Ince is better than Shaka?
I think if I have an opportunity, I think Clayton Ince. I'll select Clayton
as the best goalkeeper ever.
No, not the best. I think.
Well, we're looking at the best for the dream team.
We're talking about Clayton Ince, who I've played with, I think was pretty good. Shaka I've played with, who was pretty good as well. But I think I would put on top of the list Michael Maurice.
Mike.
I had the opportunity as a young player to play with him, and you know the confidence he exuded with him behind you, it was pretty good. So I think Michael Maurice for me would be one of them.
Right, and viewers, you got to understand different eras, different things. So you say Michael Maurice. You say Lincoln Phillips. And you say Shaka Hislop.
Correct.
There's a great three right there.
Let's see if Doc might work it.
Well, actually, to tell you the honest truth, I'm the lucky one in this group today.
Played with one of them.
Because I was lucky enough to be around all of them, if not playing with all of them. And those are three outstanding goalkeepers. And four outstanding goalkeepers, actually.
Right.
And I wouldn't mind any of them in a goal with me. But to tell you the honest truth, Lincoln Phillips, to me, was a class above the others. And Lincoln, I was lucky enough to see Lincoln both at home and not only play with him abroad in the North American Soccer League, which was the forerunner for the MLS. And I've seen Lincoln play against some of the top teams in the world, because we used to play international teams in the summer period in the States. And Lincoln Phillips, to me, was breathtaking. Those are the words that I would use. Michael Maurice, to me, is number 2 on that list. You wouldn't want anybody more reliable, knowledge of the game, organizing people in the back. I think he was excellent at that. I would put Shaka a little bit above Clayton. The only problem I had with Shaka, and my father and I used to discuss this all the time, he was more a shot blocker and coming off the line. I didn't think, even when he was playing with the top teams of Newcastle and West Ham, I never thought that he came off the line enough to close down the forward enough. But he was such an excellent shot blocker where he played, and he played at the highest level of the game in international level. And the only reason he didn't play as many games for Trinidad and Tobago as normally he would have is because he was at one time possibly being selected for the English team.
Right.
So I would still put Lincoln Phillips as the first.
Yeah.
We're going goalkeeper. Lincoln Phillips is my #1 goalkeeper.
And I feel the same way. Mine is going to be short. I think, without a doubt, Lincoln Phillips is the best goalkeeper came to this country.
Yes.
And I seen them from him all the way down to what you have now. And I don't see anybody better. So I'll close on that.
I think we could.
Let's go on the right fullback.
All right.
Or 4 defenders,
Yeah, 4,
right?
I think we could go.
Any 4.
3 or 4 defenders.
Let's.
I think I want Doc start now because I have to do some thinking.
So
I
we're
think
going
Doc could
across
get
the
it up.
defender. Well, I am going to go into 2 defenders I feel have to be on that pitch. Selwyn Morin and Tyrone De La Bastille. Those are 2 central defenders. I have not seen anybody other than possibly a Clayton Morris who could possibly rival Tyrone De La Bastille. Both of them short, able to read the game, intercept balls at will. Selwyn Morin, with his commanding presence as a national player and captain, I wouldn't want anybody to be in my defense other than somebody like that. At right back, the best right back I've seen over the years, and that's a difficult position because I've seen the overlapping George Romano at right back. I've seen the wilder right backs like Charlie Spooner and whatnot. But I think that Brian Williams is the best right back that I've seen of all the players that we've seen throughout the years. And to tell you the truth, on the other side, left back is an even harder position to pick on a Trinidad national team. And I would go with Marvin Fostin. I think Williams and Fostin on that strike squad team were the 2 best wing backs that I've seen.
Really? Okay.
My argument is very similar. I mean, obviously, I have to talk about players who I've seen, and I think Brian Williams for sure, without a doubt. Brian Williams for sure. The centre-half position, I would have to go with the likes of Clayton Morris and Richard Theodore. Is a young boy I played with. The late Richard Theodore passed away.
Was that the one who died in an accident?
Fell off a tree.
Yes, okay.
But the little time I played with that.
Oh, not the red Theodore you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bomber.
Died? Okay.
Now, you saying that, again, the Clayton and Richard...
2 centre-halves.
The centre-backs. And you saying you think those are the 2 best centre-backs that this country's ever saw?
As I have seen, as far as I have seen.
Okay.
And left back, it's very difficult not to use Marvin Fostin. It's very difficult for what I probably will rate Marvin as one of the best players I have seen in this country. I think the boy was, unfortunately, for whatever reason, he's never made it to the level as the likes of players playing abroad. Mm-hmm. But one of the players who is, what do you call, unsound, is unbelievable. The talent and that. Marvin Fostin was one of the players I would grow up watching, seeing, doing things, and practice to do it. It was one of those, and I had the pleasure of playing with him. And I think the ability, and Marvin could have played right back as well.
Correct.
Could have played midfield. And his technique, his ability, whatever reason, it didn't happen for him in his career of football. But I think Marvin Fostin for sure.
And who you have at right back?
Brian Williams.
Brian Williams?
Brian Williams, yeah.
Okay. Brian, getting another vote.
I didn't play with Selwyn Morin. I saw a little bit of him. And I would go with Selwyn Morin. Mm-hmm. For me, I would also, it's a tumble between a guy called Anthony Barrington, who played for Trinidad at the youth level. Doc, I don't know if you remember.
I know all his players.
And Clayton Morris as the other person. I think Barry left when he was still in his teens, right? 19, 20. Pace, touch on the ball, was one of those defenders back in my time that could have actually brought the ball out very comfortably. I would go with both of them as
You represented Trinidad?
Yes,
the big
represented
team? The big team?
No. Barry played on the senior team? No.
Well, this is a...
All right, so only senior
team, eh?
Okay, so therefore Clayton Morris. All right, Clayton Morris and Selwyn Murray.
Barry may have had one or two.
One or two games.
Yeah,
but an exceptional player. Yes, he wasn't a regular. And it was basically from my experience playing with him. But Clayton Morris, Selwyn Murray. And I will have to go with the Brian Williams and the Marvin Fostin as right wing backs in my era.
Yeah, the only other wing back that I've seen of the kind of quality that Marvin Fostin had with his technique was John Steadman. Normally in that position, Trinidad has had a lot of less than technical people.
Left back.
Left back. Yeah. We've had quite a number. We've had B. Phillips and Arnim David. But John Steadman, who played professionally for the New York Cosmos,
right,
New York Generals first, New York Generals, when he went on a contract just after his teenage years, he was that type of wingback like a Marvin Fostin, able to assist and help forward, ability and skill. He could have played both sides either. And Lawrence Rondon, who I must mention here, when he played at wingback for the Trinidad team, he and Russell Teixeira were two other people that I felt were quality.
Teixeira was a fullback as well.
He played fullback in Haiti.
Okay.
In Haiti,
he played fullback.
He could play fullback.
Okay.
Depending on, so he played both. So those were some of the names of the past. Unfortunately, as we come forward, you're not seeing the type of defenders, in my opinion, where other than I like this fella Batu now.
Yeah.
Where there's a commanding presence with minimal mistakes. Commanding presence in the back that you say, oh gosh, are coming up against this man today.
Right.
And minimal mistakes. We have many defenders who could play, but too many mistakes in the back. For instance, at left back, Elcock, for me, when he was an excellent player. Excellent player, but too many mistakes.
Too many mistakes.
For me, mine will be short. I think based on the tapes that I saw, I have to go with Clayton Morris and Brian Williams. And based on the stories I've heard, I'm not sure his position was there, but Selvis Figaro, I think because of the stories I've heard, the commanding presence in the back, I think that would have been somebody I would have wanted in the back, And for present day, I have to go with Batu, but giving him some time still. I think Sheldon Batu.
As left back?
I think, no, playing in the center midfield. I don't think I could. I haven't seen enough left backs to say that I could name. So my four straight across the back would be Sheldon Batu, giving him some years to still mature. But Selvis Figaro.
Right.
That's the only. Yeah, I think I would put him on the left.
Our dream team came mature. We became a dream team. We need.
So I'm going Clayton Morris, Brian Williams.
What position are you talking?
Clayton playing center, Brian Williams playing right back. I would put Sheldon Batu on the left back and giving Selvis Figaro another center back. I think for me, yeah.
Okay, viewers, with that, we will take a break. We'll be right back.
That everybody's calling a non-penalty by Jones.
Right.
You would have gotten away with that years ago.
Right.
The rules state that you can't get away with that.
No.
So you cannot come through the back of it.
Forgive me for...
We are inspired. We are practiced. We learn. We have challenges. We are supported. We persevere. And we shine. This is our commitment to you.
Okay, viewers, welcome back. I guess it's my turn. So I don't know. I only have two players, Selwyn Morin and Sellers Figaro. I think we don't have two better stoppers than those. Again, I might be prejudiced because it's my era, and I know what they bring to the table, and they give you everything they had. And the wing backs, of course, I played against Brian a couple of times. Never played with. I played against. I saw Marvin Foston. He was good as well. But I also saw Russell Teixeira, deceased Russell Teixeira, Lawrence Rondon, and then they had guys back in the 60s that was excellent. So I can only put up two players, I think. That's Selwyn Morin and Sellers Figaro.
Can you elaborate for people like myself who hasn't seen these players play on what would make that decision sure for you?
Okay.
For an example, because you've seen the likes of Clayton Morris play and
physical presence. There's nothing. You look at them and you're scared. You start shaking to begin with, and then the seriousness about the game. Well, it's a little different. Selwyn Morin was the captain and a real commander, and when he talks, everybody listens, and he has the presence about him. He's always, anything he says sounds very intelligent. He's a captain that we don't have now. Right. And so I think he had that presence, and the people is like, hey guys, you know, this is what we have to do, and we do it, and we got it when he talks. Sellers came for the first time I met Sellers as a face-to-face was when he came back for our 73 squad. And when he came, the whole defense, not the defense, the attitude of the whole camp changed, because he practiced like if it's the game. He puts everything into practice like if it's a game.
Wow.
So I'm like, I don't mind him kicking me in practice, because when he gets in the game, he does the same thing. The seriousness, guys will put their foot when he's coming through, whether it's practice or not, this is how he plays. So he had that, and he changed the whole team that way.
We talk about that level of
intensity. That is what I've always
intelligence as well. Did you use this? We talk
skill?
And ability, for example. But Stuart Charles, for example.
Well, yeah, off the list, because I was going to mention Stuart Charles.
But was it one of that type of Selwyn Morin was a commander in the back. He was a strategist. He knew the game. He knew how to read the game. He would position other defenders and midfielders to make the game easy.
Right.
So he would look in the back like a
general.
A general in the back.
Right.
But as Steve said, you wouldn't want to come up against him, because he could be hard as nails, and you pass in there, you're going to feel. Sellers Figaro, you would feel even more, because he was very physical, and he took no prisoners.
Okay.
But he was a much more hardened type of defender, with less of
finesse.
The finesse and the strategy that a Selwyn Morin.
Okay. So then in those days, we would talk about a sweeper and a full stopper, or were they side to side?
They would play side by side, but
they would play side by side.
Yeah, but generally, there was one who sometimes would give a little, but generally they played.
Yeah, they're side by side, but and either one could cover each other. They play side by side.
Okay.
But, and if you put your foot there, if you leave your foot there, you're sure to come back and meet it.
And that's something that was needed at that time as well. Today's game is different, right?
You feel them. Yes. And you're right, today's game is a little different.
A number of defenders, we talked about it before, a number of defenders who played even for Trinidad and Tobago will never get away with what they got away with then, because the laws have changed. For instance, that tackle last night that everybody's calling a non-penalty by Jones.
Right.
You would have gotten away with that years ago.
Right.
The rules state that you can't get away with that.
No.
You cannot come through the back of a man.
Forgive me for being devil's advocate here.
Yes.
Figaro, would he have the ability if we have, yeah, we talk about tackles. We talk about being brave. But arguing for Clayton Morris and them in there now, arguing where we had the Dexter Francis who was very strong and robust as well.
You talk about what, technical ability?
Yeah, but when we have the ball, Clayton Morris could have played. Clayton Morris could have
and his work rate was
40 passes.
Up there.
Could he not take the place of Figaro at that time?
But that's just Steve's choice.
That's Steve's choice.
I know.
My choice.
His and his as well. But I'm telling you why.
If I would have picked, as I said,
right.
I had 3. Cyrus Figaro is not in my 3.
Right.
I picked another reader of the game, played for Trinidad for 10, 12 years. Tyrone de Labastide,
right.
which most people don't know.
Correct.
But he played in the first World Cup team as well. One of the things I think we should mention to the public is that Clayton Morris started off as a defensive midfielder.
Right.
And I was there around the time when he changed. The player who was playing in the back, and I thought he was an excellent player.
Got it.
It was Furlong, Francis Furlong.
Francis Furlong, correct.
Goat. The Goat is nickname. He excellent defender, could read the game, but a different kind of body, slim, excellent footballer. Okay. And he broke his leg.
Interesting.
And Trinidad had now to put somebody back there. Clayton Morris went in the back and became the main defender in the back.
Interesting.
Okay. But these guys, as long as you play within your ability, Sellers and they would win the ball. They give it to the midfield to do the jobs. They don't try, but to hit a long ball, they both can do that on the spot. So if I or Archie would make a run, Sellers or Selvin can put it on the money because they can kick long.
Okay.
And or otherwise, they give it to Gali or whoever else in the midfield and let it go. So again, I might be a little prejudiced because I played with them, I feel them, I know what they can do. So.
But that's unfair that you don't call wing backs on your team, Steve. You can't play with 2 defenders only.
Well, the wing backs, like you guys said, Marvin and
Brian.
Marvin.
All right, so you're going with that.
I like Marvin and I like Brian as 2 wing backs. I like that.
Okay.
I don't think I need to change that.
Okay.
There's other wing backs that I've like Russell Teixeira, like I said, Shrandon. But these 2 is not bad.
All right.
I can live with that. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so to start now, your turn to start the midfielder, but.
So we're talking about a 4-4-2.
You can change it.
You can change it.
You can change it.
I don't mind the 4-4-2, but I will do it now from a diamond instead of 2 wingers.
Well, 4, same 4.
No, I'm just saying no. Okay. But, so I wouldn't play 2 wingers. I'll play the 2 wingers will be playing more inside.
Right.
1 holding midfielder and 1 attacking midfielder. So it's not 2 midfielders playing side by side and 2 wide. So I would start with my number 10, which is for me Russell Latterby.
Yes, unquestionable.
Right. Number 10, and at the side of him.
Plenty names there.
I have to. I always think the likes of. I would challenge the likes of an Anglesey on the right side. With the ability to create things. That's so much, but I would also.
Clarky, you go and then we'll think about it, and then we'll come back to Roger.
I would stay with my number 10, Russell Latterby. On the left, I would put Bertie, Bertie Neptune.
Neptune?
Yes, Neptune. He was the guy from Clarence Park, right? Bertie Neptune. On my right, I would put a Hudson Charles for his work rate, his runs off the ball, and so on. And I would have an issue right now with my defensive midfielder, so I will come back to that. I have a choice.
I think we're going to take midfield in pieces because I don't think I could complete mine. But 2 that I would go with, I think Russell Latterby, number 10. But I would be going mine with straight across. Next to him, for me personally, because I've played with him and played against him, I would have to go with Kevin Molino playing the midfield. I think dynamic player, could change the game in an instant. And on the left, I would have to go with Joevin Jones, because I'm seeing those three, you know, they're just really, really talented players. It does give away a little bit in the defense, but I think pure talent, being comfortable with each other, that is the type of player I like to see. I guess studying in Brazil as well, you know, I like that finesse. And on the right side, I'll leave that blank for the hour.
Okay. Alvin?
As I said, I'm glad I have the benefit. I'm glad I have the benefit of
all these
players throughout the year.
That era,
and there are three players, there are three midfield players who I could never leave off any team in Trinidad and Tobago. Leroy DeLeon,
correct.
Latapi, and Gally Cummins. I could never leave those off.
So
those are three players who
I would go
are the three best players of all time in this country. And I will never, of all time, we're going from 64. There are other people who have seen, if we could go back even further, but that's another show.
Right.
Another show if we go in before 1964. Gally Cummins,
Leroy
DeLeon, and Russell Latapi. The three most creative midfielders. Gally had the extra ability to shoot from distance. I'm talking about real distance, not 25. I'm talking about full 35, 40 yards with accuracy.
Both feet as well?
Left foot was quite good, but his right foot was a thunderbolt. And he had the ability to pass, he had the ability to dribble, and Gally was a converted midfielder. I didn't like it. Wanted to be,
Gally was a striker, you know.
He thought he was a striker, but there are other strikers who were better than Gally, and so he had to take his position that he was. What he was in the old days was what we would call a all inside right. You know, he would be a little bit wider in a forward position and a little bit deeper. So he was not only in a forward position, but he was creating as well.
So my question to you, Alvin, in terms of the three players that you have selected,
that is why,
in terms of positions and to play the position,
that is why I need with that group.
Okay.
I have to have a defensive midfield.
Okay.
Right. And I'll let the thing go on before I.
Defensive midfield.
So could I put Gally as my right?
Yes, you can.
Fair enough. Yes. Well, I'll put Gally Cummins as my right.
Right, what about Burton Neptune, right? What do you think about him, though?
Burton Neptune, before he got injured, another one who broke his leg, and had an unfortunate career in that career never reached its pinnacle, because Burton Neptune was the last of the great dribblers in my mind in Trinidad and Tobago. He was one of those who could take on anybody one-on-one and leave them for dead. And we have not seen players
like a Burton
Neptune for a long time. Joevin Jones comes close. Closest. But Burton was one of those players.
So I picked based on position. I don't disagree with you in terms of the quality of those three players, but I just decided a left footer as a Burton.
If in your position you feel that a Latapi was better than a DeLeon for number 10, then you argue that. Because
correct.
Both of them could play that position.
Yes.
And if you have to argue, do you think Latapi was the better number 10, or do you think DeLeon was the better number 10? Or do I think Cummins was the better number 10?
Because that's my argument. My argument is...
It's position. That's why I chose them.
So if you go in with Russell as number 10, where is DeLeon going to play? This is my point. Or if you're going with DeLeon number 10,
where's Russell?
That's why I think
number 10.
No, sorry, just behind the striker.
Right, the attacking midfielder.
Creative midfielder.
Right, that attacking creative midfielder. That is what we're calling the number 10.
But those three guys, DeLeon, Cummins,
seem to be the same player.
Is the same player.
That's what I was asking Alvin.
My concern now,
that's what I was asking
can they both three start in the best
Why
team?
not?
Okay,
but it's how Doc said he would play them. He said he would play them with a defensive.
We're picking a dream team. We're gonna have. This is the top 11 players we think.
Yeah.
But if we was really a team going somewhere, we would have another 11.
And that is what I'm playing.
We would make the adjustments.
picking position.
We don't care about the adjustments here.
Okay.
We just want to know these are the best players at the position.
Well, if that is at the position.
Okay.
At the midfield position.
Or at the midfield position,
yes.
not at the particular midfield position.
No one else could get in beside Dillian, Russell Latapy, and Gali.
Why not? So you agree with it too?
I have to.
I would name another.
I have to.
No, I would name another player who I think
in that position to fight up with these three guys.
Yes, Arnold Dworka.
Dworka?
I played with Dworka, and I think Dworka was very talented. But at the level of these three guys we talk about, I have not seen Gali.
He's not at the level, but he has to come in for consideration. Dworka had a football brain, technical ability
as well. Then,
well, Otis was. I didn't think.
I think they were.
But I want some perspective, please, Steve. Alvin, Steve. I want some. I want some perspective. Yeah. Is it that we are just picking the all-time best midfielders, or is it that we are actually placing them in positions?
I'm no coach. We ain't placing them. We're picking the best team.
But Steve,
and that is what I was.
If we're talking about that type, Anthony Sheffield was a magnificent talent as well.
But did he play the senior?
So if you would
he play senior team? Because we still had the criteria. All right, no, just making sure the criteria is still within. Okay.
He did. So my concern is, I honestly think I would like to see a team. I mean, at the end of the day, is what we're doing is the best of the best. And I do believe, I mean, a lot of the probably panel can argue and the viewers, how can you argue Russell Latapy, Leroy Dillian,
and Gali Cummins?
Exactly. Well, that's how I feel.
Well, you have space for one more.
All it shows is Alvin has more sense than you guys.
You don't know age. I have more age. I have more age.
I am thinking positions are left-sided.
Let me just give them a few further characteristics. Leroy Dillian, even though he was a very excellent attacking player, was also fairly good defensively because he played in a system. He played in a system. He played stopper at one time, and he played in a system also where there were only two midfielders. We played 4-2-4.
Yes, 4-2-4.
In those years, in the early years.
And he was one of the two.
And he was one of the two, playing 4-2-4. Players of quality who also played that 4-2-4 that you all may not have heard about, Bert Grell from Forest Reserve, and Victor Gamaldo, who played from the defense force. They also played in that 4-2-4, where Sedley Joseph being the defensive midfielder, roamer, covering everything, and the other midfielder was the creative midfielder. As you said when you were speaking earlier, you had his back in his central, and you would guide him to where you wanted him to go to make your position.
Right.
But let me just ask one more question.
No, wait. Question, we're going to break. We're going to go on a break now, and when we come back, you're going to ask a question. Sure. Viewers will be right back after a short break.
And this is the first time I actually hear it this way, that Dillian played in a position he could have defended. He was a where Russell Latapy didn't. And you have the argument.
We are inspired. We are practiced. We learn. We have challenges. We are supported. We persevere. And we shine. This is our commitment to you.
Welcome back. It's tough, guys. You guys realize it's tough. Who had a question before?
Me. I was. Well, since we are, and
short question.
It was just a rebuttal. Since we just picking the best, I then have to go with Alvin in terms of the three that was named, and then my fourth would be Sedley Joseph as that defensive midfielder position.
So, and well, you guys don't have to ask me because I'll Gally, Leroy, and
Russell,
right? So let's go to the strikers, guys, the forwards. So we have three. No, do you guys want to add another midfield?
I said Sedley Joseph.
I had
because
4 as well.
I am not going to add another midfield. I'm going 4-4-3.
Oh, you're going 4-3-3.
But then let's
but
go
you guys can go 4-4 if you want.
No, I think we will leave it as three forwards.
All right, then, and now we have to get 3 strikers. Who didn't start? You?
I think Roger didn't start.
Who didn't start?
No, Roger
He started, but then Clark.
I didn't start.
You didn't start.
Well, no, I actually started with the goalkeeper.
Let's go from you,
yes.
Narada.
I think straight off I would have to go with, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I have to go with
You're wrong.
Warren Archibald and
Warren?
Steve David based on statistics and Leon St. Louis.
He said he would still invite you back.
That's no problem. No, but this is present who I've seen. Okay, let me do it this way. Let's do it this way.
Because I'm the host of this show. I'm okay. I'm comfortable in my skin.
No, I had the pleasure on this show, meeting the great Warren Archibald, and I think statistics speak for themselves with him. I think the effect that he had, and then when I sit down with footballers from the eras of the 60s to today, and they still mention this guy, didn't see him, but I think legends will live. And once it's spoken amongst the football community, I think I have to give Warren Archibald. Steve David, it's based on statistics. For me, strikers, goals, amount of games, Steve, your statistics speak for themselves. Leon St. Louis is the type of attacking player that I like, right? I think he ran wide, he played in some of the competitions, I guess the little Brazilian Portuguese kind of flavor, I really liked him for that. I liked his work ethic. The other players that, have the same work rate, come close, but I think for me, if it's 3, I would have to go with him as the third option.
Clarky?
Obviously Warren Archibald, Steve David. I had the pleasure of seeing Steve play from when I was 8 years old. He came for me and took me every game. He played 2 in Trinidad, and then when he went away...
That was the bribe to pick
It's okay, here today.
Steve have a lot of people. Who chose the people to come on the panel?
Hey, I'm the host, so what do you expect?
It's not John Williams.
No. So I actually had a first-hand view of Steve right in his Trinidad days. I would have to go with Warren Archibald, and I would think just based on his performance, his ability, I'll have to go with Dwight. I can't not leave Dwight Yorke out of this.
I honestly think if we're talking about the best players, I would call Dwight Yorke first.
Correct.
If we're talking about players, Dwight Yorke this is not argumentatively for me, but it's the best thing I think passed to this country. Dwight Yorke says, hey, get Jack jacket.
Right.
So I'll go with Dwight in the middle. I would have to go with the Archibald. I haven't seen him play, but I can't help admire what I've heard about the gentleman. I'll play him on the right.
Can't play on the right.
Huh?
Left side.
Play left side and come in on his right.
Yeah,
he can kick with either foot.
Yeah.
But the ability from what I've heard and everything, he looks like he can still play too. Man looks so fit. Last time I saw him as well.
Yeah.
Looks after himself so well. And we talk about Leon St. Louis, which is a good option. I think I would even sneak in one of my era, the likes of Jerry Nixon.
Nixon?
Yeah. I think Jerry Nixon was a phenomenal.
Who's Nixon
talent.
again?
Jerry Nixon.
Jerry Nixon.
One of the Youth World Cup qualifiers or first qualification.
You won't be coming back here.
Okay.
Well, to me, this is the most difficult of all because I've seen some of the best strikers
could compete in the world.
Could compete a lot of places. They're all over the world. But on pure ability and achievement, I have to go with Dwight Yorke.
Yes. Correct.
I just recently reviewed the 66 goals he scored in the Premier League. and Dwight York was scary, phenomenal.
Scary.
You know, from the first day I saw him on your team, I told Hannibal, that is a professional.
Wow.
And I felt that, you know, he lived up to expectation. I'm going to be a little controversial here.
There we go.
Because, unlike you all, I go with goal scorers. And I like Stuart John. I couldn't care what people say.
It's a big one, yeah.
I love Stuart John. The reason being is that he did his job.
Correct.
Yeah. His job was to score goals. He's the record goal scorer by far for Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, he played many more games than the others, and perhaps he didn't have the other qualities that that people had. But the number of goals he scored in every single club that he played in the U.S., in clubs in England, I have to go with Stuart John. And my third one is not Steve Davis.
Warren Archibald.
My third one is not Warren Archibald. I'll be controversial here because both Steve and Warren were, to me, two of the best players, and it is marginal, but I would choose Alvin Cornell.
Serious?
I would choose Alvin Cornell as my left-sided attacking player, marginally above Warren Archibald.
Archie?
Yeah. Obviously, Steve comes into the fray very highly, along with some of the other strikers. But those would be if I had to pick three alone in all time, I would go with Alvin Cornell,
Dwight
York,
and Stuart John.
We mentioned about your goal scoring attributes of a striker as well before. Was Cornell one of them as well?
Cornell was played for Trinidad, played for the West Indies.
Correct.
You know, was the mainstay in the Maple forward line for 15 years plus. And he was a boss of a goal scorer.
Right, Alvin was special. Alvin was special. But mine would be Dwight York, of course. I think Dwight's resume speaks for itself.
Yes.
Correct.
And Bobby Soukram. You guys might not have heard of him.
I heard of him.
I thought Bobby was a serpent.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, and you know, we have a lot of special mentions. People like Sammy Newallen, Alvin Cornell, Leonson Lewis, Stuart John is another. I think. So I would say Dwight York takes everything. Warren Archibald was very special to me. So I would put Warren Archibald on that list.
And Bobby Soukram.
And then I'll put Bobby Soukram on that list.
I played with Bobby as well.
Yeah. Okay? So now, guys, we have all that. Now we have to narrow this down.
Yeah.
So we got to... we have Lincoln Phillips, right?
Yeah.
Everybody agree to that?
Everybody did, yeah.
Or no? Or let's argue it as we go.
No. I think,
but he hasn't seen Lincoln,
but I met him. I've spoken to him. He's helped me a lot, and I think 4 against 1. You know, I think really and truly Lincoln will have to be the all-time.
So
I think I would argue the Michael Maurice. I would argue, but I would trust the knowledge of the panel.
Michael Maurice is a close second.
Very close second.
I would argue that for sure.
He is. He was good. Brown was a good goalkeeper. Okay, so we can live on Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, we can.
As a panel?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So now the 4 defenders I have here
the 2 wing backs are easy.
that get the most votes, huh?
The 2 wing backs are easy.
Well,
I think on one center,
Brian and
Marvin.
Marvin that got the most votes.
Yeah.
And I think one defender we have more or less a multiple.
Well, you didn't pick a defender.
I said Figaro, but you all have Morin as. I think a lot of 3 persons agreed that he was one of the best.
Morin.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Selvin Morin, Brian Williams,
and Marvin Foster.
And who's the other one?
I will go with Clayton Morris.
I would argue.
I went Celeris Figaro. You went
Clayton.
I went Tyrone De La Bastille.
Tyrone De La Bastille.
But if we arguing and we discussing, I would go with Clayton as well. Clayton and Tyrone, two different eras, but I wouldn't be opposed to having a Clayton Morris there.
Yeah, but well, who would you be strong on your who you think?
I stick with my first choice,
All right.
Tyrone.
Tyrone.
Clayton Morris.
Clayton Morris.
Clayton Morris.
Clayton Morris.
I had Clayton and Selvis Figaro.
So you put in Clayton Morris?
Yeah.
Or Selvis Figaro?
But that's the thing. So it's 2, and then we have 2.
All right, so you say Selvis, and I say Selvis, and you say Clayton, and you say Clayton?
Yeah.
And you say thing. So we have a...
So I'm the split on it.
So you can split?
Well, I come back to split. I go with Clayton Morris.
Clayton, okay. So we have Clayton Morris. Okay, so that's the back four. So the back four would be Selwyn Moran, Clayton Morris, Brian Williams, and Marvin Foston.
Correct.
You guys can live with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can.
Good. All right, now let's go to the midfield. We have, I don't think we have much.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Because we say we are going in a 4-3. We changed the 4-4-2 into a 4-3-3 now, right?
Well, unless you want to add another
I'm
one,
happy with that.
you can take a forward and put him in.
No, I could live with 3.
I'm thinking I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. 4-3-3.
So, Dillian, Cummins, and Latapi.
Correct. I think we all had Latapi.
Right.
So, yeah.
And what any special mention just in case?
The only thing that I was trying to pick positional players. You indicated that Dillian could have played on the left as well.
Right.
I have a concern, as Gali had with Dwight and Latters, I have a concern with right Gali and right and Latters.
Mm-hmm.
But Alvin said that Gali was pretty good defensively as well. Yeah. So
Dillian.
All right, Dillian was pretty good defensively. Okay. So I would argue if Latapi is in the team, I would think about work rate and defensive in my midfield, and I would argue my Hudson Charles. But in terms of not picking positions and going so tactically into it,
right.
Gali Cummins, and I want to make special mention of Puerto Neptune. I think that he was one of the great footballers I've seen pass through this country.
I think I had the opportunity to play with Leroy Span as well, and he wasn't bad. Eh?
And strikers, we have Warren Archibald pick up, 2 votes?
I had him, yeah.
I had him.
Right?
Well.
That's 3.
It's 3?
Yeah.
I'll take Warren.
So Warren Archibald pick up 3 votes. So Warren Archibald.
Dwight York was.
Dwight York pick up all.
Was everybody except me, but I only did that because I knew he would be obvious. So I tried to give other names. So Dwight York, hats off, you know.
So we saying Dwight has a sure pick.
Yeah, Warren is okay for us.
Warren because he has 3 out of 5.
Only if Doc, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warren Archibald has 3 out of 5, and then our third one who had pick up more.
Right, we had 2 Steve Davids.
We have John. We have 2 Steve David. How many Stern John we had?
1.
That's me.
1 Stern John. How many Bobby Shukram? We had 1.
1. And I had Leonson.
And you had Leonson. So, Steve David make the group?
Yeah.
So we have...
Unless we have objections.
We planned it that way.
You planned it?
Yeah, we made sure.
Guys, viewers are taking them for dinner after. Let me... Okay, so our dream team, guys, you guys got it, right? Is Lincoln Phillips.
Correct.
Selwyn Moran, Brian Williams, Marvin Foston, Clayton Morris,
correct.
Leroy Dillian, Everett Cummins, Russell Latapi, Warren Archibald, Steve David, Dwight York.
Yeah. I think the only person could object to Steve David right now is Doc. That's the only guy who gives Sturgeon a lot of accolades. So if he's not...
Can I argue one little thing?
You can argue one. You have 1 minute.
And I want to question, this is for the older guys, what brings the argument with the Russell Latapi? And this is the first time I actually hear it this way, that Dillian played in a position he could have defended. He was a where Russell Latapi didn't. And you have the argument of argumentatively Russell Latapi Dillian. Is that something that is in the back of you guys' mind who've seen Dillian at his best? That hence the reason that might nudge the decision on a Dillian?
I think what sways a lot of people about Leroy Dillian is that I don't think in this world that I've ever seen somebody, I'm talking about in the world other than Messi who is as good a dribbler as Leroy Delionne.
Okay.
And Georgie Best, yes, close, but I think Delionne was even a better dribbler, in my opinion. You played with George Best, so you know. But I am saying he's the best dribbler I've ever seen.
As good as Russell is on the ball, Leroy is better.
But then Russell was offensive. Delionne was deeper than Russell to me. No. So I'm just thinking that makes it special. That makes it, you wouldn't ask a deeper midfielder to be dribbling. And if he was so confident for you guys to say that, then I have to rethink myself of the ability of this Russell and Delionne argument.
We got close. Leroy started in college in stopper.
Didn't know that.
Last stopper in front of Sandpick Bernard, tall. And he was a captain. And then when stuff going on up front, like he didn't like, he would take, like he took Dick Furlong one time, we played in Fatima, and take Dick and put him and go up right wing and destroy the left back because Dick was doing, that is how intelligent he was and good a player he was. So he was very, very destructive. And then he ended up his career as a striker with me up in the States. So he played every position. He can play. He could have played. All right, guys, I thank you so much. We've come to the end, bud. And you guys earn yourself maybe a dinner. We can go and get something to eat or a bottle of water. Either or.
What a choice, Steve. What a choice.
All right. Viewers, thank you for watching. Send in your dream team to our Facebook page or our email address, fieldofdreamtt@gmail.com. Thank you, Axe, for giving us the opportunity. Again, I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll see you another time, hopefully. And viewers, we've come to the end of the show. And go in peace. I'll see you next Monday night. Good night.